I gotta imagine it's nice having a bigger group out here than you've had recently.
Yeah, for different reasons. All the injured guys were coming back, and that's the positive. You know, I had told you guys, you know, I know it's coaches can't give away lineups and players, but they were all kind of in that day-to-day mode for quite some time. Raul was very happy today. Will was very happy today. You know, guys happy to be back in the fold.
Is it too early to say that any of them will be available, or do you feel like pretty confident about their availability?
I'm confident that everybody is available except for Gustav.
How happy are you to have Cristian officially available too?
Well, that was some good news today. I think you know, I think you guys all heard it from Garth and Cristian. I think the process worked. I have been very adamant myself about, you know, going on the record and saying that referees, it's not an easy job. There's a lot of emotion, and it's pro sports. There's money on the line. There's playing positions. Guys lose their head, all of that sort of stuff. So I have a lot of empathy for them. They have to deal with a lot of stuff. I'm a big supporter of VAR. I think VAR is something that, you know, is a great idea. And I'm also, you know, happy that the disciplinary committee, you know, thought about it, talked about it, looked at it. I know it wasn't an easy decision for them, and made what I felt was the correct decision. I mean, I said it after the game. I know Cristian very well. There was no intent there. Now, if they follow the letter of the law and all that sort of stuff, that whole conversation, whatever happened, I'm appreciative of what they did.
Garth was pretty diplomatic when he was talking about the fine that the disciplinary committee gave Roldan yesterday. Do you see that any differently? Do you see it the same?
I read that on your site, and at this moment in time, I'm going to let that go. I might even pitch in and give them the $250. There's confusion after red cards. I mean, that it happens. So I'm not gonna sit there and make a big deal out of it. I saw it the way your site saw it, but you know, whatever.
How would you describe this last 3 games? I mean, looking at the circumstances, I mean, you get a couple points. I mean, how difficult was that, you know?
Well, that's maybe the only negative thing that someone's going to bring up here, because 2 points in 3 games isn't enough. So that upon reflection, you know, if you're just looking at it from a statistical analysis, you had 3 games and 2 points, it's not good enough. Now, playing on 2 days rest, the physical component of San Jose, you know, they did pretty good. Come back 2-0. The team never quits. The players don't quit. So in that sense, it was a success in some ways. I thought our tactics in that game worked. You know, I just think we gave up a couple of, you know, softer goals. And then to come back and go shorthanded against LAFC, you know, was testament to the grit and determination of the squad.
What about the depth of those players that came up and stepped up in those positions?
Yeah, all of them. Not just depth, but character. Didn't matter if you were number 1, 2, or 3, or 4 on the top of the list, or, you know, 24, 23, 22, 21, they all performed because training for that week was important. So even the guys that didn't feature in the game, they had good training weeks.
So Brian, is there a sense of just asking, all right, we've kind of been through the 3 games and whatnot, injuries and this and that, let's go out and get the results and
yeah, there's good resolve within the squad, but it's not going to get any easier because we've got, you know, this game and then a 3-game week, and then we're on the road for 3. And I mean, MLS is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. So again, I think games like this, weeks like this, might help you prepare for the next 3-game week, and that's a positive for us.
How important was it? Sorry. How important was it to get that early start that you have, not to bank on it, but as something to look back and move forward?
It was good in the sense that we erased some form of the narrative. Now people might come up and say, well, Sounders have taken a mid-season swoon. You never know. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm confident that this team has enough to go deep into the playoffs and make a serious title run. Whether you win games now, win games later, Zig always used to say 3 points in March are the same as 3 points in September. Okay? You give yourself a little bit of more runway that way, but I'm telling you this much, the drive and determination to even get to the playoffs in these 3 years has helped the team in the playoffs because they were fighting and scratching for their lives. And so that comes into play as well.
In preparation for Minnesota this weekend, is it an asset or a challenge that you know Ozzie Alonso so well?
Wow. Okay, that's a good question, Michelle. Is it an asset or a challenge? I think it is, from a coaching perspective, it is a little easier to prepare for him because you know what he does really good and really well, so that will help me. But I know the emotional nature of the player, and it's going to be a big match for him, so that's the other side of the coin.
Your thoughts on the newest signing to the Sounders first team?
It's good. Another young player coming up through the academy ranks. Alfonso, you guys all saw it. I mean, we were all watching the games, the academy games, and kid performed well. So he's earned a chance to come up here with us, and we will continue to assess him and see if he can't make an impact at some point in his career with the first team. That's the whole idea behind the academy and Defiance and up to the first team.
How do you go about balancing that, where obviously you have games to win, you have a lot of important high-level things to do at the first team, but you, on some level, your responsibility is also to help develop players like Danny Leyva and Alfonso Ocampo-Chavez.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
I hire really good assistants and delegate authority, because Gonzo, Jimmy, Preki, Tommy, they do a great job. They will all benefit. Look, Alfonso's going to benefit from working with Preki. Okay, Leyva's going to, benefit from working with Gonzo. The defenders we sign, if there's any, Sam Rogers is out here. He did extra work today with Jimmy Traore. So I have a really good staff, and that's what makes my job a little bit easier. I just like to pay attention to kind of keep things, from my own perspective, to make sure that we're doing the right things. But most of the coaches, the assistants, do all the heavy lifting, along with Chris Little, Mark, Nichols, and all of the academy staff.
I imagine you've watched him play quite a bit over the years. Was there ever a point that you saw and you said, this is definitely a future pro?
For Ocampo?
Yeah.
I would say he would have a lot of very good starting points. I don't know if I would ever anoint anyone, okay, he's definitely going to make it, because you could, Freddie Adu, there's a lot of names you could pull out of the hat. What I would say is that when Alfonso has come to us, and this season was a little short, because remember in preseason he got elbowed in the head and he had a concussion, another little knock, so it was a little incomplete. But every time he stepped on the field with the pros, he worked hard, learned from those guys, did what he was asked to do, and coaches enjoy that. When players come and they do what they're supposed to do, and they're humble about it, then that gives them a chance to be a good pro.
How difficult is it to pull the trigger when you have a guy that's as young as Danny Leyva in your bench and maybe try to put him in, get him to play some minutes?
We were close, but it wasn't quite the game. I mean, all the subs that came on did a great job, so he's got to wait his turn. But positionally, did I need some help in the middle of the field? I mean, Alex has played there. Alex came on, did a good job. I mean, there was some talk about it, but probably the wrong game for that kid. But he'll find some minutes somewhere.
You'll be without Kelvin. How does that kind of impact things?
We'll go in and talk about that. Different, we've got some different possibilities. So we'll talk about that and try and find a solution.
Steve Zakawani has been coaching the Bellevue boys soccer team this year. He
Aren't
had
they
him out of
undefeated?
practice. They are.
Yeah.
He's totally turned the program around. Is there anything you ever saw in him as a player that you thought would translate into him being a good coach?
He's gonna kill me. Not really. I mean, he still should be playing. Yeah, I mean, he should still be playing professional soccer. Maybe that's my roadblock. Steve, though, always he and I like to joke about it, being a student of the game. We would always tell these young guys, be a student of the game. Watch, learn from the older players, watch from what you see on TV. He has obviously done that because the success he has, it's not easy to coach. So for him, it's congratulations, and he needs to continue that.